Louisville sometimes feels stuck, but I know it has plenty of smart people who can help us find a way forward, like Merritt Robinson. Merritt lives in Jefferstontown, so I met her at the Parklands of Floyd's Fork to ask what she thinks our Louisville could be. Merritt Robinson. Um, I told you I'm interested in meeting some people I didn't know, hearing what they think about the city of Louisville, the future of the city of Louisville. And what I really want to do is come to where they live. So here we are at the Parklands, which is near where you live. You told me you live about as far east as anyone can live while still being in Metro Louisville. Tell me a little about yourself.
So my name is Merritt Robinson, and I have only lived in Louisville, Kentucky. And I am, I don't know, 48 now, I think. So I'm married. I have 3 children, and they all are in Jefferson County Public Schools. I teach at Manual High School, so I do have a little bit of a commute daily.
So if you think about your perspective from like where you've chosen to plant yourself and raise your kids, what does Louisville look like to you from here?
Well, currently I feel that Louisville is stuck, but I feel like Louisville was moving forward. We had revitalization going on in our central business district, a lot of great things happening, but then even before COVID, I feel like we hit a pause, and I feel like we're stuck. If I did not teach at Manual, I would not really have to travel to the city center very often.
You compared Louisville briefly to like Nashville and Cincinnati. One, Nashville you'd clearly define as southern. I think Cincinnati would usually be described as pretty northern.
Yes.
Do you think Louisville should be known, if we're going to get unstuck and move forward in the future, is it better for Louisville to be known as a northern or a southern city?
Okay, Stephen, that is a very tricky question. So here's my human geography answer. We teach regions, okay, in the course, and one type of region is called a perceptual region, which very much so is a northern or southern region of being perceptual. So obviously people from the north, you ask them, Louisville is southern, right? But if we go to the south and ask those people, they say Louisville is northern. We're in the middle. We're stuck. We don't know what we are. We're confused. But where do we want to come from? Like if we're looking at a marketing standpoint, well, horse racing and bourbon is for sure southern, right? And obviously we have a push to sell the marketing of bourbon and horse racing. But a lot of people associate, because perceptual regions are based on stereotypes, and a lot of people associate the southern stereotype of less educated, slower in pace. So I don't know that that's necessarily what you want to be associated with. So in Louisville, we're stuck. I feel that we have to capitalize on both of those.
So that leads to a question. If we think about how to get unstuck, how to move forward, what'll drive change here? If you could invite one or move one company or organization from anywhere in the country or the world to Louisville to help us change, what would that be?
That's a tough one. I think this might be the toughest question because really it's not anything I'm an expert on, but I know enough to know it needs to be tech. We need more tech in our city and to keep our young urban professionals here. So right now, those opportunities are not really available in Louisville. We attract a lot of what we call maybe secondary sector economy, so more manufacturing, which is good. You need that also. But we definitely need to move to higher order economic sectors, especially to contend with bigger cities.
That's really great. And you did some of this, but what else happens if let's just imagine that one giant company or a host of companies come in. What looks different in Louisville? What works? What's different as a result?
Oh gosh, okay, well this is like the catch-22.
Yeah.
So you bring the young urban professionals in, you get them to stay, but where do they want to live? They want to live in the city center, which gives us revitalization and gives us more economic dollars, but at the same time drives up taxes and displaces current residents. They're missing that balance, which then causes a lot of social issues.
So we're talking about Manual, but that's not where you went to high school. Where did you go to high school?
I went to male high school. So I'm called a traitor. Although People at Male, they will say, I went to Manual to teach them how to do things correctly. And at Manual, they say, I finally saw the flaw of my ways. And
Sounds almost religious.
yeah, somewhat it seems to be for some people.
Yeah. How do we become a city if we want to be a city where it doesn't matter where you went to high school?
You know, I think that's just a way of connections and community, not necessarily a bad thing.
I mean, the part I think about is if let's say we succeed and move into the 21st century economy
Yes.
and attract, which we would grow and attract urban professionals from
Right.
elsewhere, how do you balance it out so they feel
Well, I
the
think-
positive of community?
I think it's like people who say Louisville, Louisville, you know if they're from here or not. That's going to be the indicator. Do you answer the high school question or not?
Yeah.
What's the indicator of your background of being here? But so again, it's all a balancing act. So I don't think it's a negative thing that I think it's a traditional thing.
So it's okay. It doesn't feel we can grow and
And still have traditions.
yeah.
Absolutely.